All right guys, spring is here, summer's not too far behind, and if you're watching this video, you're probably ready for some new gear. So hang out for a few minutes and check this stuff out. What's up guys, Eric here with At Home in the Future, and I'm back with another gear update video. And guys, I'm telling you, in this one I've got some stuff that you've never seen before. We'll take a look at some gear and gadgets from all sorts of different categories, and even look into some clothing and other essentials that were absolute lifesavers in our Grand Canyon trip over spring break. As always, if you're interested in picking up any of this gear for yourself, I'll put links down in the description where I've shopped around everywhere online to try to find the best deals for you guys. But let's get this thing going by taking a look at some really cool gear and gadgets. So if you've watched the channel for a while, you know that I do these gear and gadget updates about, I don't know, maybe once a quarter or so, and I always have some interesting stuff to look at, but I feel like this mix of gear today includes some stuff that was really new to me coming across it, so I can't wait to show it to you guys. We'll start things off with these straps over here. So this is from Red Team Tools, and this is an update to a product that is actually one of my most sought after items from our recent travel video. So this is the Super Grip Lock Strap. Really awesome tool for hotel security. You just kind of wrap it around your deadbolt. You can see a diagram there. If you're in a hotel, it just adds this extra layer of security that makes it just about impossible to turn a deadbolt, and keeping you extra safe and stuff. The problem is it's really hard to find these things now. If you tried to purchase this through the links in that video a few months ago, they go out of stock about once a day, I feel like. I don't believe they even produce these anymore. But the cool thing is, the guys over at Red Team Tools have actually produced an updated version of this product. I think they're even in touch with the original creator. But same idea, you just have a simple Velcro strap, but a little bit of an update where instead of this elastic pocket and this old school triangle that I think this was invented in like the 90s or 2000s, deadbolt handles are a lot different since then. So now we have this slot here that fits a lot more stuff in my experience when you go to a hotel. You just wrap it around the lock, put it together. It takes about 5 seconds to install once you get the hang of it. But it is this insanely lightweight, super secure thing that will really keep your room super safe. Now I know some people left some comments in our travel videos saying that they're worried if you had like an emergency in your room and somebody needed to break in and help get you out, that this strap could be dangerous in those scenarios. That's just something you have to weigh out for yourself. For me, I like having the extra layer of security, knowing that even if somebody has a key card, they probably can't get in my room. But really, really lightweight. Throw it in your bag, forget about it until you need it. Super secure, really clever product there. Pretty inexpensive too, so worth picking those up. Definitely check those out. You know, it wouldn't be an At Home in the Future video if we weren't checking out some sort of new knife. And I have an interesting one here that Vosted, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. I've been checking this out over the last few months, and it's pretty interesting. It uses a lock mechanism and an opening mechanism I hadn't come across before. So I believe they call it a Trek lock, and it works a lot like a typical button lock, just with a few little quirks. So you could open it with the flipper, pretty nice. And there's a ton of different colorways of these, by the way. Has a nice, almost deep carry clip there on the back. Really nice finish on this one and everything. But you have that nice button lock open and close. So you can sling it open, sling it closed. You can use the front flipper on it to open it up. You can use the back flipper on it to open it up. Really versatile and kind of a different take on the knife game that it feels like when I think of like a gentleman's knife, this is the kind of thing that comes to mind. Just kind of a classy look. Probably not something you'd think of for hard use, but you probably could. But if you look deep down, you can see the lock mechanism. Again, similar to a button lock on the inside. I think the whole thing is on bearings in there, big liners and stuff inside as well. But the lock goes like straight through the metal of the blade, which just makes it for a pretty interesting and secure open and close. If you're in the market at this price point and you're looking for an interesting knife to carry, I think you may dig that lock mechanism. It's very fidgety, just as button locks typically are, but that Trek lock is something kind of interesting to check out. So very cool. Again, tons and tons and tons of different color options for this thing. So worth checking out. You get the whole kit with the microfiber and everything else. So that's from Vosted, who has a lot of interesting knives out there. I've been seeing them circulate more on YouTube and kind of come across the same channels. I watch the same channels you guys probably watch if you're watching this. So it's fun to throw a different knife into the rotation here. Another tool that you're probably gonna have with you quite a bit, whether it's in your work bag or your travel bag or anything else, is cables. So if you're like me, your cables are also a hot mess, or maybe you use these little like night eyes, twist ties and everything. I feel like I should just buy these in bulk because I use them so much to try to keep my cables in order. But these cables here from Magtomi, I think is how you pronounce the name, are really interesting because high-speed USB-C cables that are magnetic inside the cable itself, and like automatically will coil up as you roll them around and stay nice and cinched up. So really easy to clean up your workstation, throw these in your bag and go. So they've got kind of this flat pack cable here that's nice. They also have like more of a coil style. So whichever one is your taste. I find these have sat on my desk a lot over the last few weeks in between tasks, and I feel like whenever I'm on a Zoom call, for some reason these are very fun to mess with. There's something about coiling these up over and over again, back and forth, that's just really fun and just nice. So if you're a neat freak at all, or just want your stuff to feel a little bit more organized, if you're gonna go grab a cable, these are worth looking at. I think they have multiple options. These are all USB-C and fast charging and stuff as well, but again, so you got the flat pack option, you got the coil option there. So interesting cable solution just to keep your bags nice and tidy. Really dig that. Next up, something really unique, which I feel like is hard to find in the EDC space, but it's this little product here from Fatty Pack. It's spring, summer's almost here, and if you're like me, you're probably wearing a ball cap out quite a bit, whether it's on the weekend or taking the kids to practice and stuff at night. This is like a summer go-to, and nothing's worse than when you're wearing like shorts and stuff and having a whole bunch of junk just weighing down your pockets. And that's where the Fatty Pack comes in. So this is a really interesting problem-solving product for something I haven't even thought of as being an option, really. So what this basically is a tiny little Velcro-enabled pouch. You can open this up. It Velcros also at this end too, so it keeps your stuff nice and secure. But you got this little pouch right here that can hold a little bit of cash, a house key, gum, Band-Aids, whatever else. All this stuff that you may normally keep in a little pocket or anything. But this pouch just simply folds over your band here on your hat. So just pop this into place, fold it over right there, and you are good to go. And it doesn't really stand out. It actually just kind of has a cool little tag on it. You've got this little loop here that you can use for all sorts of different things. There's even like a little bottle opener you can attach to this and fold inside of it, or you can put a house key or something on the inside. But again, whether you're out and about, just need some extra storage, or maybe you're even going for a run and don't want to have stuff just going crazy inside your pockets and everything, you can add this little thing to your cap and it's there when you need it. Again, just take it right back off. Folds open and everything. Just enough storage to be handy and not big enough for you to really even notice it. So a really interesting little thing, really inexpensive, great little upgrade. If you're into carrying just in case style stuff, this is a cool little gadget that I think you'll really dig. So really neat there. Definitely check those out. Fatty Pack, brand new to the market, I think. Really excited about those. So next up is something that probably all of us have, and that is a phone case. So if you're an iPhone person, you know with their new iPhones this year, I've always been like a go-to leather case kind of guy. For whatever reason, I think it's for like environmental consciousness or something like that. Apple has decided to get rid of all their leather products, which leaves like these really crappy fiber cases that you can go and do all this research online. They're absolutely terrible, awful products. Anyway, my wife has started using these leather products from Andar on like her iPad and her phone and stuff as well. And I just picked one up for mine because I like them so much. But basically, if you think of like the quality of Apple's previous leather cases, these are like a huge upgrade from those. But with that same kind of thinness, the same quality materials and everything, nice clicky buttons, and MagSafe stuff built in. So they got this nice felt layer, so you're not gonna have your phone all beat up and scratched just from some weird plastic insert and anything. But man, really nice, smooth leather that's gonna patina over time. You still have plenty of room at the bottom to plug in USB-C cables. That's a big problem, by the way, with third-party cases, is sometimes you'll get some that just barely leave an opening on the USB-C slot. And if you're plugging in a cable like this, it's really hard to get those in there without taking the case off. So these are really nice. Tons of different color options too, which I dig. Lots of camera bump protection, which is super nice. Like I mentioned, the buttons, even the action button is actually built into this thing. So if you're on an iPhone 15 Pro or just one of the newer iPhones and you're looking for a leather option, man, check out Andar's stuff. They're priced really fair. Don't mess with any of the junk you see on Amazon that's like, oh, here's a leather option, because most of it's just terrible. So anyway, really excited to pop this on my phone. My wife's been making me jealous having hers, so cool product there. So wrapping up the gadget segment here, I've got two really interesting options to look at that have actually been already shown throughout this video and you just don't even realize it, and that is these rings I'm wearing. So first up, we have this really interesting thing here from Project Ratchet, which I believe is a company from Sweden. A really interesting thing here that I hadn't heard of before I actually checked this out for this video. So if you're like me, when you're thinking or talking or just processing information or even like watching a movie and stuff, your hands, you typically just like to have something to do, something to kind of fidget with and mess with. Years ago, you remember the whole fidget spinner craze and everything. There's all of these fidget gadgets, I feel like, that are all over the market, kind of in the EDC space. And the Ratchet product has come up with a really interesting solution in a ring. So check this out. This is their Ratchet ring, which looks just like a normal ring. I kind of wear it in place of my wedding band right now. But really interesting product there. Very light, really cool finish, lots of colors and stuff. But their claim to fame is this ratchet motion. That's it. That's pretty much all this thing does, is just make this really satisfying slow click, high click. I'll get it really close to the mic so you can hear it. I cannot stop messing with this thing. I really, really love it. It's just something I find on my hand every day. If I'm thinking about something, or a lot of times when I'm just watching Netflix, I'll just kind of sit there and just mess with this. Now, I'll tell you, it'll drive my wife absolutely crazy. I think she's gotten used to it as I've been wearing it over the last month or so now. But if you just need something to focus your mind, or maybe you're getting stressed out in a meeting and you just need something to kind of calm you down, you can kind of put this below the table, and depending on how much you pinch it or how slow you do it, it won't be as loud. You can hear how loud it is just messing around right there. But you can get it wet, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. There's even a way to clean it where you can take it apart and stuff. So a very cool product if you're looking for a little hidden fidgety thing. They can keep your brain busy and stuff. Really interesting option there. So this final option over here I'm going to show you is also a ring. And so if you're into fitness style wearables, so everybody's had like Apple Watches and things like that for a few years now. A new segment in the market is smart rings. Now, where these become especially compelling to me is for sleep, because I know that some watches, again, the Apple Watch has done this a little bit, even though it just absolutely destroys the battery. Some smartwatches have had sleep tracking and stuff for a while, but this is a really cool product from Ultrahuman. This is their Ultrahuman Air Ring, and you can see mine right here, which I've been wearing on my middle finger on my right hand. Again, it just looks like a normal ring for the most part, except if you catch just the edge of it, you'll see that it's kind of clear here on the inside. But it has an array of sensors. It has one part of the ring that slightly protrudes. But those little array of sensors, the battery lasts for 3 or 4 days, but it gives you all this really fascinating insight about your life. Whether or not you're wearing another wearable and stuff, this can also integrate with Apple Health and all that stuff. And it tracks, you know, typical fitness stuff. You got steps, you've got heart rate, but so much more than that. It's a really, really interesting option that in my mind is a lot less intrusive than wearing like a smartwatch all the time. So again, you can shower with this thing, you can get it wet and everything. And compared with some of the other smart rings on the market, by the way, Ultrahuman does not charge a subscription to actually get access to all the features and stuff. But this thing is constantly learning about you, constantly monitoring your movement, checking your heart rate, looking for all these different scores and metrics that are really, really meaningful. Now, setting this thing up is actually really cool. Now, when you order one of these, they're going to send you this Air ring sizing kit that'll let you try on all these different sizes of rings, so you can make sure you got an exact fit of the finger you want to wear it on. So you provide that with them through the app, and then you get it in. You basically just take it out of this box, pull out the charger, which plugs in with USB-C here, let the ring charge for just a few hours, which you have to do maybe twice a week in my experience so far. And then basically once it's paired with the app, you're good to go. And basically for me, I've just put it on and forgot about it. And while I sleep and while I walk around during the day, going for a walk on the exercise bike, that sort of thing, this thing is always capturing data on me. And the things that I've found the most fascinating, I think, for one thing, when you wake up, seeing your sleep score, you can see all these REM sleep cycles and stuff. You can see how well rested you are. It does a really interesting job, I feel like, through their app, categorizing your movement index, your sleep index, and all these things, and giving you like a number to help you realize how you're tracking kind of throughout the week and stuff. So again, for me, this has basically been a sleep-focused gadget. Is the part that I've liked the most, but you can also get that health and exercise data and everything else. Another thing I really like is it gives you like this effective stimulant window where it tells you, hey, here's a good time where you can start taking on caffeine and stuff. I'm actually pretty caffeine sensitive. This actually has told me as much, where it's saying like, hey, here's the window where like caffeine can be really helpful for you. And it'll send me a notification throughout the day saying, hey, it's probably time to taper things off. I've really dug this. If you're looking for a fitness wearable that's a different take than your typical smartwatch style approach, especially one that's actually fairly affordable for what it is, especially not having to pay a subscription for this data, I think this is a really, really interesting product. And again, sleeping at night, I don't even notice I have it on. So it's tracking all this stuff without me even thinking them having a wearable on, or without other people looking at me and thinking, oh, you've got this big smart gadget hanging off you. Pretty cool. Every now and then you'll see like a slight green glow to the ring where it's taking your pulse and reading your temperature and that sort of thing. But very cool. If you're into tracking your vitals at all, or just your stats for every day, I think you'll really enjoy checking one of these out. All right, so we've been all over the map in early 2024, including a huge trip for our family over spring break out west. We got to see the Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon and Zion, all these really cool places. So because of all those trips, I have some really cool recommendations today for some stuff that I think will really help you make your travels that much better. The first recommendation is going to be a category of gear that's no surprise to any of you guys who have watched this channel for any length of time, and that is merino wool gear. And I think I finally found my favorite merino shirt, and that is these merino shirts from Proof. Now, I've tried some Proof shirts in the past, and I really enjoyed it. I just tried their performance fit, which are great if you're into more of like a muscle fit type of shirt. That isn't so much my type of thing, so I switched over to this shirt here, which is their classic fit shirt. Comes in pretty much every color imaginable, but I really enjoy these. They fit to me more like a regular t-shirt. They're absolutely awesome, require very little care. Throw them in the laundry once in a blue moon, but the whole time we were down in Utah over spring break, I have a few different ones of these and just kind of pick colors that go with pretty much anything. It's a really good option if you're looking for the merino t-shirts. I think Proof is probably my favorite brand for those right now. They also have a few different options in their merino family that are definitely worth checking out, including a new merino pullover. There's a few different options of these. They also have like a hoodie version, but I chose just like the quarter zip because I feel like that's something that you can layer quite a bit and it packs down small and everything. But the neat thing about these, not only are they odor resistant and temperature regulated and all the typical merino things, very lightweight, but they're also, and I think it's actually true, their shirts, these are all actually UPF 50. So if you're gonna be out in the sun, if you're part of the pale forest like I am, where you just get burned when there's a cloud out, having something like this that you can throw on that doesn't necessarily look like, you know, sun gear, and again, you can get the hooded version as well. But that was a total game changer. Again, great for a trip outdoors. Another thing I'm really enjoying are Proof's new merino travel pants. So these, from the outset, just look like kind of normal khaki pants that you wear just about anywhere. And I think that's probably their biggest superpowers. They feel just like awesome, really comfortable pants. Got the typical kind of 5-pocket design, a nice big 5th pocket right here if you're into EDC stuff like I am. In the back, you got your normal back pockets that have the little zipper pouch kind of hidden away too. That's great for travel. But again, since they have a ton of merino built in, they stay fresh for days. They're very comfortable. They have just a little bit of stretch to them that's nice and everything. But they also just fit extremely well. There are some other merino built pants out in the market, but I feel like a lot of those are way on the slim fit side of things, or maybe feel a little bit more dressy. These feel just more like everyday pants, and I really dig these. Come in a few different colors, definitely go check those out. Now, when I've covered merino stuff so far, typically I've just covered casual stuff, because that's most of the time what I'm traveling in, stuff like t-shirts and jean type pants and everything. But if you're looking for something, maybe you need just something to dress up a little bit, or just go out to dinner, maybe like a button up. Western Rise actually has a really good merino button up that I've really dug. It fits really well. Again, it's easy to care for and stuff, but it features all those merino superpowers in addition to some other fibers that they have built into this. That kind of gives you like this one-stop shop where if you just need a button-up shirt that's easy to pack in, pretty much can match anything and fit in just about anywhere, unless you're going to like a really formal dinner. Really cool stuff from Western Rise. Speaking of Western Rise, you may know them for their pants more than anything else. And if you're the type of person who likes to wear joggers at the airport or when you're traveling on a road trip, definitely check out what Western Rise has to offer in this category. So again, Western Rise is famous for like their travel pants that are crazy lightweight, water resistant, easy to care for and everything else, but they've taken those same materials and put them into a new jogger, which I'm really digging these. They've got a drawstring, which is awesome again for airport security if you don't want to take belts off and stuff for TSA. It's really nice. You got nice big pockets on the back and everything, which not all joggers have, I feel like. They also have this little hidden pocket, which I really dig, whether you're using these for the gym or for travel. Again, having this little extra zipper here kind of tucked away is a good touch and everything. But they're just super comfortable, super light. When you're packing these, if you're somebody like me that's like a one-bag travel type person, because of this material that Western Rise uses, this stuff is just ultra light, and if you do like a Ranger roll where you roll it up, it packs down really small. So really dig these joggers. And I got one last pair of travel pants to recommend, and that is from Rourke. So these are their layover pants, and these things are super great. Really dig these. Instead of like a button closure here at the fly, they've got this drawstring, which I think actually looks really cool the way it ties up and stuff. But lots of features for travelers. For one, the material I think like looks great. It tends to be pretty water resistant and stuff too. It's even got, if you're using these where you double up like we did, again, our trip out west, wearing these around hiking and stuff, they've got some ventilation built in kind of into the seat of the pants, which is pretty handy. And a feature I feel like I'm seeing on more stuff these days is like putting holes in pants is some sort of new breakthrough right now. Also big deep pockets. They pitch it for like travel documents. So if you don't have an extra bag where you want to cram down like your passport or boarding pass, if you still use like a paper boarding pass, you've got that. You've got nice button closures here on the back. You've got an extra pocket here in the back, which is really great for EDC stuff too. But really like these. These are very comfortable, which again, they call them the layover pants. And so it's the thought of wearing these around the airport where you need something that Looks nice, but it's also something that you want to lounge around in. These are a great fit. Awesome if you're going to pack just like 1 or 2 pairs of pants for travel. These are a really good choice, I think. So before we wrap up, let's talk shoes and rain jacket real quick. So I have some really interesting options to recommend here. The first will be, again, no surprise if you watch this channel at all, another pair of Ons, which tend to be like my favorite pair of shoes. I feel like they're super, super comfortable. But these are a little bit different. So these are, I think, the Cloud Wonders, and they are totally waterproof. And why this is interesting to me, this is something I've been trying this year when I'm traveling. Instead of taking multiple shoes, especially on an active trip like our spring break trip out west, where I would take like hiking boots and all this other stuff, I'm trying to just take one pair of shoes that can do just about anything. So these waterproof style sneakers like this are absolutely awesome. Made with Gore-Tex on the inside, super comfortable, handle a lot of stuff. I feel like my feet don't get hot in these. A lot of like Gore-Tex style shoes in the past, I feel like that was a thing. But these are great. Have all the comfort that you want from a pair of Ons. Look nice, and you can, you know, if it's pouring down rain or whatever else, you're not gonna be walking in squishy shoes the rest of the night. So that's a really good option there. Definitely recommend these. And along the same lines, I've got one more recommendation, and that is these Adidas Terex waterproof sneakers. Again, same idea. It has that awesome Gore-Tex lining all throughout. Looks and feels like a normal sneaker. All that padding, all that cushioning and everything. Just a really great pair of shoes that can handle just about anything you threw at it. If I had to choose between the two of these, I liked them both, got them both at the same time. I find myself wearing those Ons a little bit more. I think more so just because of colors. Even though this green, I think it looks cool. And there's a few other different colorways you can pick up in these things. Feels like for casual wear, maybe the Ons match more stuff, but these are super great. Maybe offer a little bit more arch support and everything, but same idea. One pair of shoes you can wear for just about anything, especially if you're going on adventures and stuff. One warning with these, I love them, they're super cushy, but this kind of foam sole thing down here can get scuffed up and looking gross pretty quick. So if you're trying to keep these nice while you walk around the city and stuff too, it's just something to think about there. But speaking of rain and kind of bad weather conditions, let's talk about a rain jacket. So I don't know about you, but when I think of a rain jacket, I think of like a North Face hard shell that like makes noises and stuff wherever you walk. So not something that when you're traveling you want to use as kind of like a everyday or any purpose type of jacket. That's where this option from Western Rise comes in, and this is one of their new rain jacket options that I think is really, really interesting. So for starters, the fabric on this thing is great. It's not your typical like hard kind of windbreaker shell that doesn't breathe or anything. It's this really soft kind of stretchy material that just feels really nice. It doesn't feel like you have that hard layer that you're wearing all day. It has a really nice big hood. It has a cinch in the back, but this wears like more of a typical jacket that just happens to look really nice and everything. It matches a lot more stuff. But also, this thing has a really interesting built-in superpower. Check this thing out. Boom. Isn't that crazy? When you don't need this thing, it actually folds down and packs down into this pouch that's built into the small of the back and the fabric. And it's got a sling and everything. It's got an extra pocket on the front where you can carry stuff in it. And you can probably fit a few extra items on the inside along with the jacket. You don't want to stuff it too full, but when you're walking around the city or through the airport or that sort of thing, you don't have to do that awkward thing where you take your jacket off and stuff it down in a backpack or just throw it on your waist, but you have this nice sling that you can wear around. So you can have your jacket in case you need it, or when you're done with it, just roll it back up and pop it into this thing. I think that's a really cool innovation as far as rain jackets go. All right, guys, that's it for this video, and I hope you found some really cool gear to help you ring in the spring. Don't forget, if you want to pick up any of this stuff for yourself, you can follow the links down in the description. I've shopped around everywhere to try to find the best deal for you, but it's a great way to hopefully help save you some money, and it also helps support our channel. As always, if you dug this video, be sure to hit the like button because it helps the channel out a ton, and subscribe if you want to see more cool gear like this down the line. I'll see you next time.